Hello, dear Recrur podcast listeners. I'm Marit. I'm the founder and CEO of Recrur. And to remind you what Recrur is a recruitment software that makes hiring process simple and effective for all the needed stakeholders, for HRs, for HR managers, for recruiters, and for hiring managers. So it's a tool for organizations for managing your recruitment process effectively. But today our topic actually takes us to GDPR world, and especially we will look into the topic from the perspective of the recruitment. I'm really glad to introduce our today's guest, Piia Laks-Järve. Hi, Piia.
Hello, Marit.
Piia is a lawyer, and she has a long-term experience and expertise in working with GDPR-related questions. And even more, Piia has also founded a great tool, startup called Datavie, for making the GDPR management easy for companies. And together with Piia, so today we will discover what are the most common mistakes that the companies make regarding the GDPR and recruitment. What are the most challenging part for them, and actually what are the steps or what should they need to do for being compliant with GDPR in regards recruitment.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, so could you please give us a short introduction about yourself?
First of all, thank you inviting me here to speak about data protection in the requirement process. I agree with you that it's very important to talk about this topic for employers to understand what is the basic rules and how to fulfill the requirements easily, effectively, and sustainably. I'm Piia, and I've been working in telecommunication company since 2010 as a lawyer. Since 2018, I have been a data protection specialist, and last few years, I've been data protection team leader. My responsibility is to manage the data protection organization and to ensure the data protection process integration into company other processes. Last year, I started developing data protection software, Datavie, to help companies to ensure data protection.
Nice work, yes. But now, so when we are thinking about the GDPR, it's a really commonly known word, and everybody is using it. But just to make it clear for our listeners, so what is actually GDPR, and what is personal data when you are talking about hiring process?
Simply to say, GDPR is a data privacy and security law, and it is mandatory for everyone in EU who process personal data. The regulation was put into effect in May 2018. So first of all make clear what is the personal data and be sure that you process personal data. For example, personal data in the hiring process are CV, motivation letter, test results, or recommendations. If you don't process personal data, then you don't have to be comply with GDPR.
Okay.
In the hiring process, you should not collect data that you need only in employment relationship. You can ask information that is necessary for requirement process. So if you are an EU company and you process personal data, then you are obliged to comply with the GDPR rules.
Okay. So it means that when we have, for example, the application process ongoing, so actually we as a recruiters, we can only ask the data that is necessary for filling this process, but actually not for the future purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But also our listeners, mostly they are from the Baltic states, from Estonia, from Latvia, from Lithuania countries. So do you also see, are there any differences in GDPR requirements or the compliances between those countries? And if yes, what are the differences?
No, there are no difference in GDPR's compliance between countries in EU, but you have to know if you process personal data of EU citizens or residents, or you offer some goods or service to such people, then GDPR applies to you even you are not in the EU.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's also one important
Yeah.
question that actually some of the clients have asked from us. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah. But now coming to your experience and what have you saw? So what are the common mistake that the companies do when they handling personal data? Maybe some extreme examples or something that comes to your mind.
Yes, there are some points that the player should pay attention. For example, companies don't think about or don't want to think about data protection. Many companies have not realized that they process personal data, or companies don't want to deal with this topic because it seems difficult and complicated.
Okay.
I understand, because there are no simple standards or instructions to ensure data protection requirements. For example, for this point, we are developing this software to make it easy for companies.
So I understand that this is for this more automated.
Automated, and also we give some instructions how to be compliant.
Okay. But I also know that when we are talking about recruitment, then for example, one of the commonly heard question is that for how long I should keep the candidates' data, or I may keep the candidate data in my talent pool. So how do you see how the companies actually is compliant to this kind of rule?
When you want to hold or store the candidates' data in the talent pool, then you need their consent. And you can keep this information still, you have this consent. When it take back, then you have to delete it.
Okay. Okay, yes, we can come back to those consents parts.
Then data processing is not mapped. It means that companies don't have a record of data processing activities, but it is mandatory for everyone who process data. Even if companies know they process personal data, they haven't mapped it. Without knowing whether and how personal data is processed, it's not possible to talk about appropriate data protection. Creating a register of data protection activities and keeping it up to date, it is the basis for ensuring data protection. Based on register, you also can prepare privacy notices, which is also important. Then data is not deleted. It is usual that data stored unlimited time, thereby violating data protection requirements. You are not allowed to store data no longer than it's necessary for the purpose which the personal data are processed. Then maybe one aspect also, companies copy other companies' privacy notices. I understand why companies do this. They don't know how to put together this privacy notice, and if they do it, it takes huge amount of time. Copying the privacy notice of other companies is not a good practice, because you can be sure that they are comply with GDPR, and also this is not based on your data processing activities. Therefore, you are disclosing also false information to your customers or employees.
So it means that yes, the companies sometimes they want to choose the easier way how to handle it, but on the same time they are actually making already mistakes. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's understandable. Yeah, but now when some company or organization is on the stage where they are ready actually to start looking over the processes or actually to create the processes for managing GDPR, and maybe more specifically let's talk about the HR teams. So what are the next steps, or what are the suggestions for them, what they should do first?
First of all, I suggest to map your data processing.
Mapping.
Mapping, yeah. This is the base of all this data protection. Then, to be clear, what the legal basis you process the data, and if it's a legitimate interest, then don't forget to do the legitimate interest analysis, because it shows you are you allowed to process data or not. Then put together the privacy notice. Yeah,
Okay.
because your customers or employees has to know how you process their data. Then I suggest to analyze and evaluate the technical and organizational measures. Thus, everything seems to secure for you. If you use partners, also map their data processing and evaluate their measures they use to protect personal data. And don't believe partners' statement that I'm GDPR compliant. And of course, set the rotation period for the data, and if possible, delete data automatically. And if you still don't know where you should start or need help to implementation of data protection requirements, then I think that you should contact with some specialist.
Yes, and of course your data is also available in LinkedIn, and and so it's really good, so that at least we have one specialist who are available to help you. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so but yes, to conclude, so basically what are the steps? So the first thing is to mapping.
Yes.
Then the second one was actually the purposes.
Make clear the legal basis.
Yes, legal basis based on what you are actually keeping and managing the
Concert
data.
or the legitimate interest, or you need to take some actions in the contract.
Yes, and then do the analysis.
Analyze your technical and organizational measures, the data rotation periods, and delete data.
Okay. So yes, so basically for HR managers and for recruiters, so basically it means that yes, you need to just look into your process, your concrete process, your recruitment process. You need to actually divide it into the parts and analyze it and think through it. So where can be those risks moments?
Exactly.
Good to know. Yeah. Okay. So, but you also mentioned that yes, there are ways how to grow actually the talent pool, and so that as it also legally grow it. So let's maybe focus on it. So what are the purposes of keeping talents data? We as a HR, we as a company representative, and for how long is it reasonable to do it for the hiring perspective?
If you want to store and keep these candidates' data longer than this recruitment process, then you need the consent. And I think that you need this data because you want to make some offer in future. And as I say, you can keep this data as long she take back this consent.
Okay.
But it's maybe it's I suggest that you may put some time limit to this consent because the life is changes, your needs is changes, and I think that these CVs you keep, maybe they are not so valuable. I don't know.
After
some time.
Yes, because for example, from the talks I have had with the HR managers, then they are saying that the time they are keeping their candidates' personal data, it varies, but it's actually from 1 year to I would say 36 months. Is the maybe the most common practices.
I think that you have to measure your needs and you have to realize what you need.
But what are the mandatory points that must be in the consent? For example, if we as a recruiters we want to create the consent for keeping the candidates' data, what are the mandatory things that needs to be there?
You have to put there some kind of information, like who is the processor. You need to put there this company name, and then the purpose for which the data is being processed. The candidate have to know why you keep her data and why you use it. And then the type of data that will be processed, what kind of data you need. Then the possibility to withdraw the given consent.
Okay.
She have to can take it back. And then I suggest to put the link to privacy notice.
Okay. Okay, but now it's a good time actually to continue with this privacy notice part. So what it is and where we as a recruiters, where we should put it.
Okay.
In which purposes? Yes, just very simple.
When we talk about privacy notice, this is a document informing data subject about how an organization is collecting, processing, and using their personal data. A notice serves as a transparent communication tool, providing person with the understanding of their privacy rights and the control they have over their personal information. Providing this information, privacy notice establishes and builds trust between organization and these people. And also this helps ensure personnel are aware of how their data is handled and gives the ability to make informed privacy decisions. And the rule is that you have to publish these documents before you collect the data.
Okay. So that it's reasonable to put this privacy notice to also on the job ads and the application forms and also to companies' career pages, so that that when the candidate comes and checks the possible vacancies, then they already see the notices.
They need to know how the company process information to make decision. Is it okay to her or not?
But what if there's no privacy policy shown out, I don't know, on the web page or on the job advertisement? What are the risks?
The risks, the first risk that you may pay some penalties or you can lose your trust. This is the risks.
Okay. I would also I would like to coming back to one of important points. So you also mentioned that actually we need to, when we are also we as a recruiters HR team, when we are selecting for example recruiting partners or also software for automating the recruitment process. So we need to also select the partners properly, and the partners must be also complied with GDPR rules.
Yeah.
How to, I don't know, how to assure it that I choose the right partner, or is there some kind of suggestions? How can I map it or something like that?
Yes. To be honest, today in GDPR there are no specific instructions, but in practice I use some kind of questionnaire, and I ask question about data protection and also security information part. So the mapping is the best way to get information from partner, and then you can get to understand what is the risk of partner and make decision is okay for you or not.
And do I understand correctly that actually the input for mapping the partners, also this one comes from our internal recruitment process mapping when we are doing this risk analysis?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And also, yes, there were also mentioned the word penalties, so fines. So are there already any, I don't know, penalties set not for following GDPR rules?
Yeah, of course there's penalty, and this frameworks of penalty can be up to 20 million euros, or in the case of undertaking up to 4% of the total global turnover of the preceding fiscal year, whichever is higher. But in EU there are some kind of incidents also in recruitment processes, and this penalties is really different, and this penalty amount depends on different aspects. For example, how many subjects are suffering, what kind of data is take part in this incident, and so on.
Okay. And looking now at this process from the candidate perspective, so what are the main concerns that the candidates have? So, for example, if they, I don't know, if they maybe after the recruitment process, if they contact the HR team or something, what have been their complaints?
Please delete data. How long you keep this data?
Okay.
And sometimes they want to know what kind of background analysis employers doing.
Okay, and what are actually the ways the employer, how the employer should prove that the data is being deleted, or what kind of background checks we have done already with this candidate? Is there any concrete, I don't know, proven way?
If you have some logs about deleting, then you can give this information. But I think that this is okay that you say that the data is deleted, and if they have some problems with that, then she can check or take some control acting. But if you talk about background activities, then I don't know, some companies have the checklist they use to make background activities. Then you can give this information, but all this information has to be also in privacy notice. What kind of background activities you do, and when you delete this data also. So I think that this is okay if you link only this privacy noted first.
Okay, and but just talking about those background checks. So I know that the very common way how to make the first background check or the really first check is Google, actually the Googling, yeah. So is it okay or not?
I just suggest to keep your attention because this information you find in Google is not be so correct, and there may be false information also. Then it's okay, but I don't know. This is not a good way to get the information.
Okay. And it's really popular is also nowadays. Yes, it's also doing video interviews.
Yes.
So how about notifying the candidates taking those video interviews?
This is good when you publish this information in job advertisement.
Okay, so that the candidates already know that during this process there might be also video recordings. Okay. Nice. Yes. Yeah, I'm asking those questions. Yes, because most of them they have actually came from our customers. So and these are the questions that are really important for them for doing their everyday work properly. Yeah. But now, how do you see what is the future of GDPR? Is it going to be even more stricted, or is there be any I don't know any chance that it won't be I don't know too much headache for the companies?
I think that in future data protection will become more important, and companies that don't comply with the data protection requirements may lose their competitive advantage.
Okay.
The economy is increasingly digitized and productions automated, which means that it is also more vulnerable to the cyber attacks, and personal data is a valuable target. In order to achieve their core business goals and keep service running, companies increasingly need to invest in data protection and risk mitigation. More and more companies prefer partners who contribute to data protection and information security. So, if you want to be a reliable partner for employees, customers, and partners, and manage data protection issues simply and sustainability, then Datavie can help you.
Yes. I totally agree with it, and I also see that for example when we're thinking about exchanging the emails every day and exchanging the emails that actually are having personal data in it. So I also see that this kind of activities is really risky, and that's why we also suggest to review and think what could be the other options for how you can actually minimize the risk, and what kind of softwares or securely provided tools you can use to manage your general GDPR questions, and also recruitment related questions, or the processes.
In practice, I know that many employers have problems with phishing emails. You get some email that is the purpose to get some kind of data in your company. So the world is changed, and I think that companies have to have to take some more steps to protect their personal data, and also the company's other data is valuable for them.
Yes. So thank you, Piia, and for our listeners. I really hope that you gain some new ideas, new information, or you just received confirmation about your thoughts regarding the GDPR in recruiting. And if you have any questions, if you need any help, then you can. We encourage you to contact us and also to contact Piia. And see you next time.